I got to say it, NAPS 2024 conference preview. I'm here with my good friends, Courtney and Tim from Crelate. What's going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going, Rich?
Oh, I am pumped, man. Backstage, man, we had some good conversations there. So I tell you what, the big event's coming up in October, man. Are you guys ready? It's like Staffing World, and then a week later is NAPS in Phoenix.
Busy Save the best for last.
And the resort, man. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first off, Tim and Courtney, everybody knows who you are. But if there's somebody out there in the NAPS world that don't know who you are, you guys want to give us like a 2-minute preview of who you guys are?
Yeah, go for it, Court.
Oh, on the spot.
Oh my goodness. Just in general, we're a ATS CRM. Really, we're here to make staffing and recruiting lives easier. I came from the industry. I've trained thousands of people, and it's really about helping people work and do better at their desk. So I'm super excited. Tim talks product way more than I do. I run our podcast, but talk to people in the industry, and we're just super excited to still be a part of the NAPS conference and overall this amazing crowd.
By the way, I got to say, your podcast is awesome. It's badass. I'm just going to say it right now. I love the insights, the information. What you guys do is like, Courtney's out there and she doesn't sell anything. All she does is bring information and insights to the industry. So badass.
You're sweet. Tim, you go.
I'm a sales solutions architect for Crelate. My claim to fame, as you know, we've talked many times, but I've just been here for a lot of years. I've been in the industry for a while. One of the best things that we do every year. And you're right, it's busy season. We're coming up on conference season. We'll be out there, quickly followed by a whole bunch of product releases. So we're going to our busiest months of the year, but the highlight is NAPS. It's always the best show for me.
I love it. So you know what, Tim, you've been around, you've been at NAPS for how long, man? I mean, you got some, come on, tell us how many years, man.
NAPS is actually, we talked a little bit before. NAPS is actually the first show I ever went to when I got into the industry. And that's, I think, I got all the badges and stuff. I save all that stuff.
Let me see one. I got to see one, man. Bring something out, man. What year is it?
This one's 2017. I don't know if anybody, hold on. 20.
We got it. Do we see it?
Do we? Is that? Hold on.
What was that? 2005. No, I'm joking.
No, yeah, right. I'm not saying myself that much. I think it's 2017. Yeah, but I usually hit it every year, and I got into the industry about the 25th, so I was brand new to it. At that, and it's really cool just watching. Like, I learned so much the first time I went to NAPS that I was, you talk as a company, and you're like, hey, who's going to do this show? Who's going to do this show? NAPS is the one I volunteer for, right? So it's the one that I'm like, hey, I make sure that I'm there, because I have customers that were getting into recruiting and staffing the first year that I went to NAPS, right? So they became customers, and I've watched them grow. I've watched them be new to the industry, me be new to the industry, and just grow over these years. So, and I said it before, I think NAPS is more like family to Crelate, right? So I look forward to coming there and seeing all the people that I, don't get to see the rest of the year, that sort of thing.
Well, that's the given why you guys are the sponsor then every year. It seems like, you know what I mean? I mean, you guys have a booth up there. Yeah. I mean, it's seriously, we thank you so much being on the board and all that. That's one thing I'm just going to give props out there right now, man, because without you guys, we don't have a conference. You know that, right? I mean, there's a big banking for all the sponsors that's out there, but especially you guys. I mean, you've been there for that many years and still staying with us.
Absolutely.
So give us some, so Tim, so NAPS is coming up. It's in Phoenix. Do you have any stories? I mean, over your time, was there any, we can sit here all day.
Yeah, how long do we have? I could kick off my shoes and we could do this for a couple of hours.
Let's go, brother.
No, I got so many. There aren't any. I don't know how many I'm allowed to tell. Also, but some of the things that I love most about NAPS are just that. I think it was Teresa that I heard the first year that I went. Do a session on MPC marketing, right? Kind of how back then, 2015, 2016 or something like that, it was a big kind of market shift around kind of a candidate-centric marketing approach to recruiting. That's kind of where we're all moving. And I was so inspired by that we literally built a whole feature set around it in Crelate. And it all comes from me hearing this thing at NAPS and going like, hey, that's a really, really good idea. When I say that I grew with NAPS, I'm not the vendor who's like walking around the hall while I'm in all the different breakout sessions and things like that. So I'm kind of making my list of stuff I want to do, because I get as much out of it as anybody. And I've seen so many young recruiters come in, well, young, everywhere in between, right? And that are just picking up the industry. To the point now where you can tell when you see them, you're like, hey, you're starting this, just wait. Wait until it's your second or third NAPS and you're cruising around here and you know the people here and you're excited for certain speakers and things like that. When you're first there in your first year, you don't know anybody, you don't know any of the names, but then you quickly learn like, hey, I got to be in this breakout session or this breakout session. And there are ideas that are baked into our product today that have come from NAPS.
It's real life experiences. And you know what I like about it, guys, is seriously, it's like you go to these other big conferences and they're all great. But when you go to NAPS, it's like you're in a classroom. You're learning for them 2 days. It's almost like a college. Seriously, you got 30 people, 40 people in different sectors. And then you get to know everybody. I'm going to tell you, by the end, the small group of 200, 300, 400 people, you get to know everybody's name by the end. It is really nice.
Definitely. And you just, I can't overemphasize the amount that you learn. It was, as a matter of fact, it was important for me to have my sales team at some point, CPC certified, right? There's so much knowledge at NAPS that the organization provides that it's just, I can't stress enough that if you're brand new getting into this, like all of that is super valuable.
100%. And Courtney, how long have you been going to NAPS?
I just went to NAPS last year. Now I've only been at Crelate for 2 years. I actually got the privilege of speaking at NAPS last year. And it's just a different vibe and a different, compared to most of the conferences. People are driven. They ask questions. They are super engaged. It's not just a checking off the box. Hey, I'm here. I'm doing what I need to do. The engagement from this group is truly amazing. They're here to do better.
She might have hit that mute button.
That's it. It's okay.
Computer doesn't like me today, so
Oh, it went mute again. One more time. I don't know. Do you know any sign language, Tim?
I don't.
All right. That's it. It's all good. That's okay. Hey, it's why we're live. You know that. That's why it's live. I love doing shows live because you never know what's going to happen, But if I did know some sign language, I definitely would pick up on that. But
here,
that's all good.
Text me, Courtney, and I'll read verbatim what you want to say here to everybody.
There it is. That's good. But you know what? Also, getting back to the NAPS and all that, you hit it on the head. It's like me being on the board. We put like a subject. And we put some thought and process in this. We want something from everybody. It's just not putting people out there just saying social media. We want somebody to get out of it. So our classrooms and going through the stuff, we spend 3 to 4 hours going through all the speakers and seeing which ones we want, not because of their name, of the topic. So we want to put this agenda together and this syllabus, I call it that it's the ultimate thing every year. And if you know that, Tim, every year it's something different, Yeah. I mean, you got Barb Bruno and she teaches some stuff, but every year she has different materials. We don't bring the same stuff back every year.
And the theme this year is Ignite, right?
Yeah. Light up a little fire, man. You know that. It's going to be fun.
I think this year, it speaks to this year more than most years, where I think we need to reignite, if you will, what we're doing here. And, I've seen a list of attendees. I've seen a list of the vendors, and it all looks super exciting.
It does. It's incredible. So NAPS, we're all excited about it. If you didn't get a chance, register. You can register online here. You can reach out to me, Tim, Courtney. We want everybody is welcome. So, and the rates are incredible. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to mention numbers, but compared to other conferences, it's very reasonable too for what you get out of it. All right, Tim. So let's deep dive into what your specialty is, my man. Crelate. So, I'm good friends with you. I've already seen some of your demos. Amazing, amazing stuff. Give us the 2-minute tour of what you guys are doing. And if you can give us any, on the Shark Show, I like sneak peeks. What's going on new? If there's any things you can blurt out there, if you're allowed, do it, man.
Yeah. This is where I just apologize later. It's like leaking spoilers and
Well, I don't care because it's live. Let's do it.
We honestly, our development team, and we have a big development team. Our development team is sizable compared to our sales and marketing team, right? So everything we do, we reinvest back into the platform. And this has been one of the busiest. This has probably been the busiest year that we've ever had with development since I've been here. And I've seen some major functionality get added to Crelate, right? We cut our teeth in direct hire, perm placement, executive search. We're the first CRM for recruiters, right? Then we got into staffing and we started handling your kind of temp to perm models and your temp models and your employee management. And this year we've kind of doubled down on it all, right? So we have development teams that are in charge of different phases and different processes. We have a team dedicated to kind of every single thing that we create in Crelate to keep it modern, to keep it at the forefront of the newest technology. And some of the things that everybody's talking about AI everywhere. Our thing was, responsible AI, right? The AI and HR, to me, we can go on and on about this all day long, but I certainly want to know that your system isn't creating a bias against me whenever it's doing searches and things like that. So it was very important to have responsible AI built. And so, we did some AI stuff for a while, but there will be a big push for that at the end of the year. So in the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to do a September, and then we're going to follow that with another release kind of fast on that one's heels. And it's going to have what we call Crelate Copilot, which is your first AI kind of bot inside of Crelate. Again, responsible, localized AI, but the type of AI that's helpful. And I'm not talking about like make all my emails sound the same. I'm talking about, really telling you like, hey, there's a candidate in your system that you haven't talked to in a while, and here's why you should think about them, right? So AI that's really, and we call it Copilot because it follows you around, not in a creepy way. I kind of have to say that now, but it follows you around Crelate. And it makes suggestions everywhere you are. Hey, you haven't done this in a while. You should do this. You haven't worked on this search in a while. You have a teammate who hasn't done something in a while, right? So it's making suggestions and it's doing things. So we're going to have a big push for, again, what we're referring to as responsible AI here in the last of the year. And then we're expanding our feature suite in the back. We'll be, by the end of this year, we'll have a rec to check offering, I'm calling it, where we'll take you all the way through the process into payroll processing. So if you're running some contract, some direct, and you want to be able to invoice clients and pay your temp employees out of the same system, right? Whether it's direct or temp or anything in between, right? We have the offerings that take you up until payroll right now in Crelate. We've had them for a while, but they're getting more love towards the end of this year, and then full payroll services. So we'll be able to go all the way in. So it's, what we want to be able to do is keep you in one system, not integrating with this for a timesheet, not integrating with this.
Oh man.
Right. We want to keep you in one system from rec to check. And that's going to be a recurrent theme, this platform that everything plugs into, right? So 2025 is probably not going to be much different, but we're just going to continue to build on that kind of rec to check theme.
And I love that because being out there, this integration stuff, correct me or not, this is internal integration. This is not like 70 different companies and you're integrating with them. Are you doing this all internal?
We feel very strongly that the major business processes need to be handled in your software. What I mean by like that is obviously your ATS needs to manage all of your candidates and your clients, your sales and your recruiting, right? Your onboarding software needs to manage all of your compliance, state to state and everything in between. Your delivery system timekeeping needs to manage people in the field, your margins. So these major rocks, but we're not going to be your phone and text provider. We'd be terrible at that, right? So what we want to do is we want to plug into the tools that you use, bring what you have to the table. When in talking to staffing firms, there's no shortage of conversations that I have where, agencies and firms out there have to be married to certain technologies because it's a client requirement, right? Hey, this client requires this background checks for out software. So if I'm trying to build a software that's going to shoehorn you into using the technology and the partners that I provide, you're not going to get very far with your clients, right? So we want to maintain this concept of a platform software that integrates with all of the best in breed, but all of the major business processes happen. And that's what gives you those great reports. That's what gives you those insights. That's what gives you the full recruiting lifecycle kind of reports that you're looking for.
And you know what? You must be listening to the staffing owners, because me being on all these different events and all this stuff, they're saying the same thing over and over again. I'm boxed in. I buy an ATS and then I'm integrated with all these other companies that I don't even need.
Yeah.
And it's costing me all the bells and whistles, costing me all this money. I'm still not getting my ROI. We hear it all the time on the streets, and you guys are listening, which is great about it, because at the end of the day, you don't need all them bells and whistles when you can have everything in one solution.
Yeah, that, and I mean, the more stuff you plug into something, the harder it's going to be to know what's working and what's not, right? So reporting is a big thing. Again, what I like to refer to them as the big rocks of the business. But everything you want to handle in a platform that you don't want shared outside, that's what Crelate wants to handle. And then you plug in. I mean, there are tons of AI partners we have. There are tons of people in the marketplace that do your calling and your texting, your mass mail email providers, things like that. Room for all of those, right? To just plug into the platform. But the idea is that those major business processes, that's a tie into all of those. Our users want good reporting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so forecasting. What do you see in the future with ATS? Just throw yourself out there, man. You've been in this so long. Where do you see it's going?
It's such a good question, right? Because the definition of an ATS has evolved over the years, and even now it depends on who you talk to and what you want to get out of an ATS, right? So at a base level, your ATS is a database where you're housing relationships with people, right? Just like a CRM, but it's really geared towards your recruiting efforts, right? Marrying talent and opportunity together. ATSs now have evolved to the point where they're doing marketing automation. They're doing, there's a ton of AI built into it. There is sourcing capabilities in most of our ATSs, right? So it's no longer just a database, right, that sits behind the scenes and works as a Rolodex. It now has to encompass everything that a recruiter has to think about throughout their day. When I first started, we could get away with having an ATS that runs in the background. As long as our team was putting the data into the ATS, you're good with it, but you're out there banging the phones, doing all the things that you have to do as a recruiter. Now it's so beneficial for you to be in that software. You're getting insights that you don't get just by picking up your cell phone, right? You have access to all of these different tools that all live within your ATS. I think ATSs are really going to become get away from the traditional database sense and more into this concept of a platform where when you're talking about an ATS, you're talking about something that just does all of recruiting with you, right? I'll never say for you. That's kind of the AI approach, but definitely with you, right? It sits side saddle on every sales call you make, every recruiting call, every talented individual that you're talking to on LinkedIn, right? All of that stuff happens inside of the database.
And you're right. And you should be engaged with it like a video game, basically, because I mean, seriously, every step of the way, you're pushing the cannon right through. And the way you guys have it, it's so easy, and you can see the visuals and everything like that. That's what the recruiter needs. They just don't type stuff in. You see so many different ATSs out there where the visuals are just like, looks like Atari still. You want to be where you're involved in the game.
Or we could all crack open Excel spreadsheets and go into that, right? If we wanted to. So, I mean, you have to provide. I mean, one of my favorite things to say: you don't want a database that's a second part-time job, right? Where you sit around all day and you make sure that my boss has good reports. So I got to manually hand jam all this data into some database somewhere so that we got good reports somewhere. That'll never fly. The other thing that won't is, I don't want to sit all day long looking at a software that I can't stand to look at, right? So it's got to be customizable. It's got to be visually appealing on some level, right? And I mean, even Crelate for a little while there, this is another kind of, I don't know if anybody's announced this yet, but we'll be doing a UI refresh to update some UI elements, because we're still fairly new in the marketplace, right? But even considering that we've been around for, 10, 12 years, like, some of those things need to be updated. The software doesn't look the same as it did 12 years ago, right? So you need to kind of stay at the forefront of that.
Man, that is good stuff. Courtney, any feedback on all this?
I'm excited. I've had to train so many systems that, it was for whatever they chose. That's why they were doing it, but it just didn't speak to the recruiter and how they've worked. And I think that was number one of why I joined Crelate, because I was in awe of the processes, the way it worked.
the insights your leaders can get to forecast your business, it just makes life easy. I'm super stoked about our AI because I've seen it. We like to call it real recruiter intelligence from your system, not just something outside. So it's like a step beyond AI. So there are so many exciting things. Tim talked about it perfectly, but I just want to piggyback off of it that I'm super excited as well.
I mean, you guys are in the forefront. Even been around for like 10 or 12 years. I see your logo. You're everywhere. And that's what I love about it. You know, other ATSs are just stepping back and thinking their name can ride it. You guys are just taking a charge. But the best thing about it, I got to tell you, every time I talk to people, customer service, you're friendly, insightful, and you are listening to what they want, and you're producing that the next year for them, or even in 6 months or 2 months. So you're listening to what the recruiters and the staffing firms want.
Constantly. And I mean, I feel like feedback is the biggest driver of features that we build. I mean, if anybody that's listening is a Crelate customer or even interested, is a website that we maintain literally called Feedback Crelate, right? And you can go on there and see all of our customers interacting with one another and talking about what the platform should do and talking about what they want to see or challenges that they're having. And those all get upvoted. Like, we're super transparent about it. And then a handful of those makes it into every product release where it's like, yeah, we should totally put a button there that does blah, 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 right? So the idea is that a lot of the features that we build are just direct feedback requests from our entire customer base.
It's awesome. And if anybody wants to join in NAPS family, if they want a demo, they can just reach out to Tim, Courtney, or myself. I mean, you guys are going to have demos there at the show, right? Or a little brief demo there?
Yeah, always.
We'll be there. Actually, Ian is speaking. I think his topic is chatbot or not. So super excited about Ian speaking. We'll be there. We'll have a booth. We're excited to see new faces and old ones.
Exactly. And just a little tidbit. Me, the shark, and Crelate got little things on the back end. We'll let you know soon. So just get ready. I'm just going to tell you that. You'll see it on social media. We're going to tell you anything else about it right now. Right, Tim?
Oh, you don't leak like I do. Okay.
There's an ocean of opportunity for everybody. That's all I have to say. Oh boy. But I got to throw this up here again. I mean, this place is going to be incredible. I mean, did you guys see the pool and everything else around it? I mean, this is like a spa, like an oasis.
Looks beautiful.
Yes.
It is.
Forward to it.
I can't wait. So any final thoughts from both of you before we get out of here?
We're super excited to be welcomed back to the NAPS conference. It really is like family. I know Tim has said that in the past. So we're super excited to be back with amazing folk, and we can't wait. So thank you very much for having us.
Oh, anytime. Tim.
Echo that 100%. Look forward to seeing everybody.
Woo! Hey, if you guys get a chance, NAPS, you got to be there. Ignite your career with NAPS. Hey, we'll see you in Phoenix. Get ready. Take care, guys.
Bye, guys.